From what you understand, from what you're told, is there money to spend this month, or are you looking at sort of loan deals?
Don't ask those questions, Dan. I mean, it's not something I'm involved in. It's not something I have exposure to. My discussions, with Johan and with the club have been about trying to get some help for the players, and then I'll let them do their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, you've said that many times now, and everything you're saying in this press conference about maintaining performance, the load on young players, the threat of more injuries kind of screams, we need players here. Can you give us you said the club's working hard, but can you give us a bit more kind of depth on why it's been such a struggle?
Well, it's not. There's not a lot more depth I can give to it, because I'm not, within this context of that, I've still got to manage this team and get them ready. I mean, we got back at 2 a.m. last night. I'm not out there trying to find opportunities for the club. That's not my role in this time. It's just there isn't the time to do it. But I have daily communication with Johan in particular, and he's trying everything he possibly can to get the help we need. I think, I don't think I'm stating anything other than the obvious, and for me to be come in here and say something else would be disingenuous. This playing group needs help. There's no doubt about that, and we're sort of playing with fire by not bringing anyone in. But the flip side of that is that, like I said, the club's doing everything in their power to try and change that situation.
You didn't mention Basuma. I just wanted to.
Yeah, see how we go. He's still more than he's definitely a doubt for Sunday, but we're hoping by Elfsborg he could be right.
And just finally for me, I know we've got a big game on Sunday, but a lot of supporters are kind of looking to stack that cup double header against Liverpool and Villa. Are you expecting Mickey, Christian, anyone else back for that week? Is that kind of what you're looking at?
Yeah, look, out of the long term, they're the only two, Mickey and Romero, that are a chance for that sort of week. But like I said, still got sort of 12 days or something, and part of that process is just to see how they cope with training over the next sort of week or so, and then. But both of them are scheduled around that sort of time to be available.
And you could just talk about James Maddison as a leader. I mean, we know his qualities as a playmaker, but what has impressed you in the last couple of weeks on off the field?
Yeah, look, Maddison was great last night, and I think he enjoys having that responsibility. Again, it's been a grind for him as well, because with the team the way it's kind of going at the moment, and he's another one that's just I've tried to sort of manage him as best as I can without him playing every game, because I just think he's always, creative players are always better when they're fresh, but he's still, I think he's still churning out really good performances. Against Everton, he was really disappointed, but he just worked his socks off against Everton. It wasn't for the want of trying. And with Madders, it's always the moments. The moments last night. He was clinical. Against Everton, maybe there was a couple of moments where he wasn't as clinical, and that could just be because of the fatigue he feels. But he's another one that's he's pushing through. He's not kind of making excuses. He's taken on that responsibility, and I thought he was very good last night.
You said you had utmost confidence in you're much better in all areas of this football that you came in. Just to expand on that, or can you say what areas it is? And is that part of the brief that you had when you came in? That you're a manager, the sort of project manager, you lay foundations, you try.
Yeah, absolutely, in all areas. I think, and they haven't all been my decisions, but when I look at where the club is now to where it was, yeah, absolutely, and it had to change. Otherwise, I didn't come into a club that had years of success. So you either change or you just keep doing what you're doing. So my brief was to come in and change things, and that's what I've done. Like I said, I really firmly believe we're in better shape. I think, the squad that I inherited needed change, because a lot of the experienced players were coming to the end or time to move on, so that had to change. And I think the squad we've got together now, I think they're an exciting squad, and when they're all fit, I think the club will benefit not just this year, but for many years to come. I think we've got some outstanding people who've come into the club in all areas, in every facet, that I think will contribute to this club being successful in the future. So that's all. I firmly believe that. Now, the only evidence that most people want to look at is where we are right now in terms of our performances, and particularly in the league. But from my perspective, as somebody who walked into a club that wanted change and needed change, I've got no doubt we're in a much better place for what the club needs for success.
And just a bit of housekeeping. Last night, Son put his finger to his lips when he scored one of the goals. You may not have seen it, but I just wondered if there's any issue behind the scenes with him or the fans following him to the feet or not, because it caught the camera.
Mate, goal celebrations on my list of things that are kind of in my brain space right now, non-existent, not pretty low, non-existent. Yeah.
Ed, finish us off, please.
Hi, Ange. You mentioned that the future does look very bright for Spurs. You've got some great young players coming through. How important is it that the fans stick with you in this difficult period? Obviously, you've had some good results at home in other competitions, but in the league you haven't won at home for quite a long time. So you really need them, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely we do. And I mean, hopefully, again, we're putting them through a tough time. Like I said, in the league, but we did beat Liverpool not that long ago at home, and the atmosphere was brilliant. I think they played their part. I thought the fans last night were great again to sort of help the players on. I think most fans understand the situation we're in. They're probably not happy with it, but they can also see the potential in it, I think. And our job is to sort of try and produce consistency in our league performances that hopefully alleviates some of the negativeness around the club at the moment, so that we can, like I said, look forward to a real exciting few months ahead.
And among the players that are fit and playing for you at the moment, do you sense a real bond between them growing in the last few weeks because of all the problems that you've had? Wins like last night are only going to help that.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're sort of banding together, and again, not making any excuses. They're fronting up. They're doing their best they can for their club, and I think they all sense an opportunity. Like I said, we're deep in one competition. We're in the knockout stages of another. Further along in the FA Cup. It's not like it's just the league. It's not like, well, we've got to get some results in the league to brighten us up. We need to get results in the league because where we are is unacceptable, but still plenty to play for. It's exciting, and I think they all sense that as well, and they want us to get through this period so that we can tackle that exciting part of the season in the best shape possible.